In the dawning hours of Monday morning, the 21st March 1960, Robert Sobukwe, known to many as Prof, left his home in Mufulo, Soweto, and began the 5-kilometer walk to the Orlando police station to personally put into action his nationwide call for a decisive, non-violent campaign against the past laws. As president of the Pan-Africanist...
Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Pillow Talk Show. My name is Phakamile. I'm your co-host and co-content creator of the Pillow Talk Show. Guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button. Today, I'm with Phakamile Zangwa. How are you, my brother?
I'm well, African.
Thank you, Phakamile. Phakamile is an SRC president for the year 2019 and 2020 for CUT. Also, he's the chairperson of PASMA, Moipato Mokatsane branch. He's also, for those of you who don't know, PASMA stands for the Pan-Africanist Student Movement of Azania. Azania in this context, stipulating South Africa. Topic: is the African Revolution paused, stopped during this pandemic? Let's find out more.
We hope, we pray for better days.
Hello guys and welcome back. Yo guys, it's a beautiful day today. The sun is out, the beautiful clear African sky. Mr. Phakamile, how are you, my brother?
I'm well, African.
My brother, I love your regalia. Kindly elaborate on the regalia for me, please.
Well, this one, it is the t-shirt, is the national t-shirt of the Pan-Africanist Student Movement of Azania, which is the student movement expressing that Africa has to unite. Hence it is titled United States of Africa, and we are all Africanist. By referring to Africanist, we are referring to anyone whom owes his loyalty to Africa and everything to Africa.
Beautiful. So what would United Africa mean in the context of the world, and what would it particularly mean for us as Africans?
Well, United States of Africa will mean new change of Africa, because we have to be a generation that gives birth to the new Africa that we will be happy to see. Because at the moment, when we're speaking reality, the reason that we see these xenophobic attacks and everything, the disunity within our sister countries, it needs not to be welcomed, because we all belong to one motherland, which is Africa.
Beautiful. Before we take it further, please kindly elaborate on Robert Sobukwe for us. Just a synopsis, a quick synopsis.
Robert Sobukwe is the founder of the Pan-Africanist Congress, which was established on the 6th of April 1959.
Okay.
The purpose of the existence of PAC was to take further the question of the land, and not only just the land. Many people do not understand what is it when we shout our slogans. Our popular slogan is Izwe Lethu, iAfrika. That slogan refers to us realizing that without the land we are nothing.
Wow, that's beautiful. Guys, we almost deviated. We got carried away. And I understand why. I mean, the topic is like brazen.
True that.
Let's get to the main topic. Is the African Revolution paused, in your opinion, during this pandemic?
Well, on my opinion, I would like to be honest with you, African Tlantla.
Yeah.
The sad part is that the revolution on itself, it's very injured.
Tarnished,
and in a sense that it even broke to its own roots, because we normally sit down and engage on these issues, on referring to even our African heroes, on what was great that they did during the difficult times. We can also remember that our own black ancestors, they were oppressed, but then even through those days, they found ways to make sure that they realized that they have to go to the system and change it to benefit its own black people.
Beautiful. Phakamile, we've established that you are the SRC president for the Moipato Mokatsane branch. So your mandate is to represent students as well, am I correct? So from a student perspective, what would you say is the biggest issue facing students, understanding that the CUT on campus accommodates 34 countries to be correct? So as Phakamile, the SRC president for the Moipato Mokatsane branch, what do you think we need to do under this pandemic to be vocal and to take initiative of the situation that we find ourselves in?
Thank you very much. I appreciate the question, to be honest with you. Well, speaking of the mandate that I was given in office, firstly, it was to ensure that when we sit down with the management and with the Council of CUT, establishing the vision of CUT, well, we ensured that the vision of 2030, because of now we have to envision for 2030. The vision of 2030 of CUT has been very clear to make sure that CUT becomes a leading university in Africa as a whole through innovation. And we can speak of the talent that we are having. We are having a lot of talent from our own students whom are doing the most, but then they need to expose themselves within the fourth industrial revolution.
Sure.
Yes.
Wow.
We have to also interact with our own sister countries. Our students need to come forth and to bring these issues that are challenging them, because of we are attracting the poor of the poor students, of which during this pandemic now where they are situated, it is hard for them to cope with this online learning and everything to do with them, their backgrounds too.
Could I just quickly add on that? Also considering that most of our students find themselves residing in your rural areas, whereby now, so now I'd like to ask from this perspective, as Phakamile, we understand that you are the president of the CRC. Your primary mandate is to ensure that the student protocol proceeds. So what are the incentives that you've put forth this far to ensure that, you know what, leading into 2030, as a student, as the student body, we will meet the 2030 deadline?
Yes.
Do you understand my question?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe let me just rephrase it like this. As the student body, the PASMA Moipato Mokatsane branch, the student body,
True.
what incentives, meaning what measures so far have you put in place to ensure that you meet your 2030 target? You understand?
Thank you.
How is the activism coming about? Also considering that the pandemic is upon us, and the coalition, the oneness, the unity among students seems to be broken in this sense. We are simply not engaging amongst ourselves under these conditions. How are you going about ensuring that we do?
We had a mandate to ensure that we have to look up to our own leaders. We are having leaders whom need to be respected. The biggest issue that we normally do, it is to embrace leaders when they are no more. But then we had to ensure that the current African leaders whom are doing the most need to be recognized and need to be welcomed. I can even reference to Africa Day. We had an Africa Day celebration whereby we invited Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, whereby he also guided us, the youth, to say the directives and everything that we need to do need to start from the heart. Everyone needs to realize and to take what is next to his heart. If one is in love with activism, one gotta attach himself to activism and ensure that the primary mandate and the noble cause of the existence of the activism does not die, especially in our hands.
Wow. You mentioned P.L.O. Lumumba. Wow, well, the name itself is huge. So, according to your observation, what do you find currently? According to your observation, do you think we are well on our path? Do you think we've implemented the proper paths to make sure that not only as the SRC in South Africa, but Africa collectively, the student body across South Africa collectively, do you think we get in there as the student body of Africa?
African, to be honest with you, we are going to the right direction. We are all going to the right direction because of we have to take the advantage that COVID-19 came with. COVID-19 came with an advantage of ensuring that everyone is locked down, everyone sits down and tries to re-establish himself as to what is it real that I am supposed to do. And now, thus far, my knowledge, students have realized that the real purpose that they need to do is to make sure that they excel academically. they change their situations at their homes. This pandemic came in a situation that was not unexpected, and everyone now has established a clear vision that the vision is to create the new Africa, an Africa that is going to be united, that is going to have no xenophobic attacks, that is going to be united. Hence, we are also having other students coming from African countries, the likes of Ghana and Kenya and Zimbabwe. They are all coming to CUT because of they really understand the aim and the mission of uniting Africa. And us, we have to take use of the technology because of we're the Central University of Technology. So we have been taking use of this technology to also interact with our brothers and sisters from other African countries. And the responses have been very promising.
Wow, I love your narrative. I mean, you're painting it so vividly. I can see already where Africa is going. I can confirm we are in good hands. Never minding the fact that I'm also an African, you're also an African. We are part of this collective. We are part of this body. But before we proceed further, Mr. Phakamile, Moafrika, can you quote me one of your favorite quotes, maybe from one of your favorite icons? It could be Robert Sobukwe, anybody who was in the forefront of our struggle as Africa.
Well, I am going to reference Robert Sobukwe because of he was one of the fearless leaders. And currently now, speaking on the youth is afraid to voice out their issues because of they know that there are the consequences that we might encounter. So Sobukwe came in realizing that the truth on itself needs to be spoken. So when I quote Sobukwe, I will say, he once said, and I quote, "It is imperative that we speak the truth before we die." Because of when we speak, we die. When we don't speak, still we die. So we have to die when the message is reached to its rightful people.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Wow, Robert Sobukwe, an exciting man. Phakamile, I'm looking at your regalia, now I'm looking at your headscarf, and I can see the African flag. I can also see that there's a light rays beaming from what seems to be Ghana, probably. What's the symbolicism behind that?
Well, to be honest with you, even our regalia is having a message as a student body. Our regalia is having an African continent, which is having a star in Ghana, and that is spreading all the light through Africa. The reason why we chose Ghana, it is because of Ghana became the first country to be independent from the settlers. Kwame Nkrumah, after being excited that Ghana is now independent, he was not fully excited in realizing that the other African sister countries are still under oppression. So the lightning that Kwame Nkrumah came as the father of Pan-Africanism, he came to say we have to unite Africa as a whole. We need not to celebrate Ghana on its independence, but Africa requires everyone to use his own talent. And we need to be fearless in terms of conveying the message. And we need to ensure that when we die having realized that the message is reached to its rightful people. Africa needs to be great, and Africa is going to be great when one is going to follow his heart.
Beautiful. So Africa will be great. That I have no doubt of. But now, I want to bring it a bit closer to home. On the topic of PASMA, which let me just reiterate. PASMA stands for the Pan-Africanist Student Movement of Azania. I'm speaking to Ms. who is the president of PASMA, by the way, guys. Could you confess, or could you put it on record that now you as PASMA, the PASMA is an organization, you have the proper structures, right? Would you consider yourselves to be a non-biased or non-prejudiced party? What I mean by this, what I mean by this is that anybody is free to be a member of PASMA, regardless of their originality, geography, race, religious beliefs. Can anybody be a part of PASMA? And if we are all a part of PASMA, what does PASMA represent? You understand? What does PASMA represent for us, particularly young people?
Well, PASMA exists in an academic space.
Yeah.
And the aim of PASMA is to mobilize, educate, and strive for a free socialist education. We have to make sure that the education that we are having, it is the education that is going to be socialist and that is going to conscientize the new African to have a clear vision of the Africa that we are building. And for PASMA, PASMA does not only just accommodate the blacks or the poor Africans. PASMA is lobbying for all Africans. And by virtue of saying all Africans, we are referring to all the people whom are having their common vision for Africa, who are loyal to Africa, who are loyal to the cultures and the indigenous of Africa on itself.
Beautiful. Phakamile, considering our time constraints, I think we can wrap it up here. But one thing's for sure, man, you made some very bold and ambitious points, and I love that personal to Phakamile, and I can confess, you do know what you're talking about. And my brother, I wish you success, because I understand that wishing you success correlates to wishing myself success, because what you represent is what I represent as well. So, because we have a time constraint, let's leave it clear. Phakamile, I appreciate my brother.
Thank you,
Guys, thank you for making it this far. Well, I enjoyed it. It was a beautiful session with a man who knows what he's saying. If you haven't, kindly subscribe right now. Hit the notification button as well to get all the updates as they come along. It's me, Kamahelo, and I'm signing out. And I give thanks to you.
We hope, we pray for better days.